Hello everyone, welcome back to channel again. This is Cloud Institution, the best cloud training institution in Bangalore. So today in this video we're going to see another very interesting and important interview question. So that is what are some best practices for securing a VPC? Okay, so interviewer may ask you some kind of a generic questions, something like hey, how do you secure a VPC? So what are the different actions you'll be taking to secure VPC and then instances under VPC? Okay, so this particular question is very tricky because he's trying to the interviewer is trying to so analyze your skills on security point of view, that how do you secure your VPCs, right? So now let's see some of the recommendations, right? So first one is that make use of security groups and NACL effectively. Okay, so whenever you're using your subnets and your instances, so NACL will be used for to secure your subnets, and security groups used to secure your instances. Okay, so you should know how to use these two services effectively to secure your instances and your subnet. Okay, so the minimum exposure of resources to the internet. Okay, so most of the times what you have to do is that we should not expose your services through the internet. Okay, if at all is absolutely necessary. So if you don't want your instance to be exposed to the internet, you must be using NAT gateway, or some other way, NAT or NAT instances, to enable the internet through the NAT gateway. Okay, you should not be exposing your resources to the internet directly. Okay, and use VPC flow logs for monitoring traffic. Okay, so as we know that so we use VPC flow logs to track the traffic, incoming and outgoing traffics. You can also scan your port numbers and everything, right? So we can using we can use VPC flow logs to monitor your traffic in and out of your VPC. So next one is the implementation of encryption for the data in transit and at rest. Okay, so whenever you are just transferring the data, so you can use KMS key. The KMS is the key management services, which is there in AWS. That you can use the you can make use of that services to encrypt the data that flows in and out using encryption. Okay, so you can use KMS key to secure the data in transit and that at the rest. Again, what do you mean by transit and at the rest? So transit means, so transit is nothing but, whenever your traffic, the traffic flows, over the internet or through any medium, that's called transit. So what is at rest? At rest means is nothing but whenever you have the data in some places. For example, if it is S3 bucket or EC2 instances where EBS volumes, so whenever you have the data, so that has to be encrypted, so that at rest means like so whenever it's not been in movement, so at the rest it should be able to protect your data, right? So that is another thing. So use VPC endpoints for the private and secure connection to the services. For example, so if you wanted to connect from one services to another services, for example, if you wanted to connect from EC2 instance to the S3 bucket, okay, so we have already seen that so we have option to connect these two services through the VPC endpoints. So what is VPC endpoint? So we have already seen this VPC endpoint several times before. Okay, so the VPC endpoint is nothing but it's used to securely connect to couple of two or more instances, two or more services, without being able to connect to the internet. Okay, it's going to be a private the way, right? So it doesn't go to the internet. So next one is that use multi-AZ deployment for your subnets. Okay, so what do you mean by this one? So if you want to handle the failure of your so have your network, so you must be creating your the subnets in multi-AZ deployments. So even though if any one of the subnets has been hacked or it's been compromised, so you can just delete that VPC, the subnets, and then you can make use of the another subnet which is there in the another the another data center which is availability zone, right? So that is a major point, that you have to be implementing multi-AZ deployment for your subnets. Okay, so make use of CloudTrail service. So what is CloudTrail service? The CloudTrail service is nothing but it's auditing service. So whereas so all the logs will be the logged, so all the information and all the activities or all the events are logged in the CloudTrail. Okay, so is a logging service, and it's also kind of a auditing service, right? So all the activities which will be logged in the CloudTrail. So you must be, so you must be tracking your VPC activities. What's happening if somebody, say, if some intruders are coming inside your traffic, inside your network, and you can watch all this kind of so all this kind of information using CloudTrail logs, right? So these are all the different ways where you can secure your VPC. Okay, there are so many different ways. So you must be having sort of various advanced, so various advanced features, or some of the another way that you can just secure your VPC. But these are all the very major points that I wanted to be highlighting as part of this particular version. Okay, I think if you go for an interview, if you can explain all these points to the interviewer, I think most of the times, so interviewer will be happy that you at least most of the services and most of the major areas you have been covered. Okay, so so that's it about this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and hope this video was really helpful for you if you are preparing for the interview. And please feel free to so post your question in the below, in which question you wanted to cover as part of this the Q&A series. And I see you again in the next video.